Join Sleuth Nation membership and become a sleuth for special members emojis, special badges by your name, and sneak peek videos. Welcome back, everybody. We want to see what the president is talking about today.
Important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time. And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right?
Welcome back, BFF.
We had a lot of competition for this, and
shout out to our new
Alabama's
member.
getting it, Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force, Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much.
Wait, what did he say this was
billions, because it can't be millions, it's billions. Had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular. So Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans, I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement. 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time.
7 years in the making.
And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And that's billions because it can't be millions. It's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Okay, so what does the U.S. Space Command Center do? The Space Command, established in 2019 under the first President Trump administration, is responsible for the military operations beyond Earth's atmosphere and defending U.S. satellites from potential threats. And it says Mike Stone is a Reuters reporter covering the U.S. arms trades and defense industry. That was posted 27 minutes ago. So they putting this stuff out as he's talking.
Doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force, Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job.
Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, this is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing?
Hey,
I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
And she loved you, Mr.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, is right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Spacecom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished Spacecom to ensure that priority was put in place. And you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DOD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments. And where did they say Spacecom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead, because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has
Whoever controls the skies controls the future of warfare.
worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first. And we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX. It is the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this. And we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Here, here.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama. But as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force. And I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it, Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security. You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Anybody?
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama, we're very grateful. Thank you and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But Mr. President, thank you for making priorities the defense and the warfighter and the safety of this nation. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the president held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the president named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs. That's Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you very much. Good job. So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Senator Somerville, you talked about the cost savings
Yeah.
associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Well, it just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is a command station. Also, even locationally, where it is, and when you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rockets go, if you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
President Trump, something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that last.
Okay, now it's a big difference between Trump and Biden, because Biden wasn't on the TV like we see him. Like, I can't keep up with him. There's so many updates.
Stood for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows, and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying, like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people know I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
Something else. We know that this country has
We
a
know
huge
you heard it
problem
now.
with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. I'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a
Welcome
lot
in,
of
Nicole.
instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems.
Welcome in,
than we
everybody.
have, but we do have, there's something going on, and it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin?
Yeah, I don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Will there be any consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President
Yeah.
Zelensky?
Yeah, there will
And
be.
what those consequences
We're going to see
will
what
be?
happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week, they lost 7,000 between the two countries, 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
Mr. President, have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say
Thank you
when,
for
but
sharing,
the answer is, look,
Lewis.
Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzer get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered. And
Triggers.
they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets.
Triggers.
And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with it. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. We had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets.
Triggers.
So let me tell you a little story about a place called DC, District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago, it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week, you know, it was like years, many years where every single week somebody was killed for many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had last.
So I just wanted to show y'all that this is what they got circulating on social media. Because like they said, everybody was looking for him. Where is he? Nobody knew where he was at. And because he's the one president that you see pretty much every day. If he ain't on social media, he's somewhere. He's making an announcement. He's signing an executive order. So people definitely thought that he was out of here, or wondering what was going on with him. They done pointed out the man's ankles, fat cankles, and all his eyes and all kind of stuff, y'all. But he is alive and look like he's doing all right. What y'all think about what people were saying about him not being around?
Last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week.
Oh, and another thing, I think, because, you know, The Simpsons, if you watch The Simpsons, they will show you things that they talk about things that is going to happen before it ever happened. And The Simpsons actually has said that he was going to be unalive by the 25th or 28th or something of September. So I think people was anticipating that. I'm not sure though, but what did y'all hear?
And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzer call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network.
Yeah, it was on The
In fact,
Simpsons. I
really
seen
the
it.
opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about.
I definitely seen it. Look it up and you'll find it right here on YouTube. Just because you ain't seen it don't mean it didn't happen.
12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore.
Welcome in,
Baltimore's
perfectly
a very
harmless.
unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city. One of
Welcome,
the
travel.
worst, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, something, you know, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but
I can believe
wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Calling on Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime. Do you see your efforts here in DC, including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more bipartisanship in matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives?
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing, oh, well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there. And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And you know, remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing the great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is we. But he got up and said we did it. Well, he didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. You know, we have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents
Always
wouldn't do what I'm
lying,
doing.
huh?
I don't need this.
Welcome
But
in,
when I
Richardo.
watched television last night, and I'm watching the news, and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago, and 54 were badly wounded with bullets. I say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this. I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. You know, Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, you know, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marine, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below.
So for everybody in the chat, I see that Chris has a question. Chris Proof. He wants y'all to educate him on what did Trump do so bad. So for the people that can hear the sound of my voice, please answer his question. He said, educate him.
What we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is.
What did he
You'll
do so
explain that to
bad?
me, but the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA.
You see what
They're
Lynn
talking about the
said?
job that we're doing. Everybody. We have the best economy. We have a very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country is the richest, the strongest, the most powerful. But if for some reason, some liberal court, I'm talking about the court that just ruled, where even an Obama judge voted in favor of us, which I gave him a compliment yesterday, as you know. I said that took great courage. But it's a liberal court, and it's going up to the Supreme Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason somebody wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it, because there's nothing so popular as what's happened to our country. Our country is doing so well. But we had a liberal court gave us a very shocking ruling. And that ruling is basically saying that the trillions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world, that they'd like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of the people behind that lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries, I might add.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residence upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video.
Well, it's got to be, because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that, because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours.
See, and I was afraid of that happening with the AI coming out. Like it will be used because we know everybody ain't right. You know what I'm saying? In different positions that they have to do videos, and we've talked about edited footage and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, AI can be used by everybody. And it can hurt a lot of lives and send a lot of people to prison if it come from the right people.
No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's. In fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, "Love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof." And number one, they're sealed, and number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be. Where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think. So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows they're all sealed. You can't open them.
What you were saying regarding the federal.
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI.
Blame it
But
on
there's
AI.
truth to it, because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up, from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But,
Yeah, it is.
But those windows are all very heavily
In the
sealed.
wrong hands.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability.
Well, they ruled against our country, the court, and they ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court.
Partisan in your
Well, it
social
certainly
media
is. It certainly
and in
is.
fact, it was along ideological lines, 7-4.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges that was appointed by President Obama voted in favor of the tariffs, because he felt it was imperative for our country to thrive and survive even. And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it, because you don't see that often.
So my question is,
So speaking of Biden, I heard they took away his security and Kamala Harris. What do y'all think about that? They said that her clearance or security was taken away just as she was about to go tour the world, and it was said that she's had it for 6 or 8 months longer than she should have. And they got snatched away. Her and Obama. What do y'all think about that? Or did y'all hear that?
I suspect you're going to appeal that all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, we already have. Yeah. In fact, we're doing something
Biden
else.
is a
We're going to be
corpse.
going to the Supreme Court, we think, tomorrow, because we need an early decision. I mean, look, the financial
The
fabric
FF said,
of our
"Where's
country,
the
we're a
files?"
rich, incredible country right now.
Release
And
the
we're able
tapes.
to, other countries use tariffs on us for years, and we never did. I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariffing Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions. But we did with China, and China paid us billions and billions of dollars. And I started the process, but then I had to end it a little bit because of COVID. We focused on that. But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way, all these countries signed agreements. As an example, they're all happy. Everybody's happy. But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4.
Okay, so I think you are right. So somebody said Obama still has security. Harris wasn't a president and she shouldn't get it. Well, she was a vice president. She's a very important woman. But I guess the presidents get security for a lifetime, right? But I think I just seen that they took his clearance. They took his clearance or something. I'm going to have to go look at it again. But since we're talking about AI, this is something that they created because everybody was looking for him and everybody already said that he was out of here. And then this is another. This is another video that I ran across that I forgot to mute, but this is what people do with AI. Like, and they've been doing a lot of that with him. Now that's just some of the silly things they do, but some people could change your whole life with this AI. We see videos edited, right? We be like, why did they edit that? Why did they take that out? You can tell they edited it right there. Yeah, now they can really edit it, is what I'm saying.
With one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that. Because the stock market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, all of that money that's going to be invested, trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things
ain't going, y'all.
We are leading very
going
substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that, President, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60.
Can y'all give us some thumbs up in here, please? Please smack the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. So I did ask y'all a question. So what are y'all saying? Why your state's homeless? Any Ingo, USA, where's trillions? Okay, so what do y'all think about what y'all hearing right now? A strong nonsense. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Can y'all smack the thumbs up while y'all here? Somebody said Trump is a criminal. So I'm going to just read the ones that's flying by because this is moving really fast. Like, shout out to E-Money. Welcome in, fam. And thank you for smacking that like button. I mean, I don't know why it's so hard. Just double tap the screen, the thumbs up, y'all. It's 11 thumbs up. Well, no, that's on the other channel. On the LLC channel, y'all, please smack the thumbs up over there. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And Terry, thank you for being number 59. So all I can think about is Trump 24/7. Why is that? You might want to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Tariffs are wealth reallocation and when overused. He's just funneling money up to the wealthy. Do y'all believe that this is about funneling money up to the wealthy? How do we have any MAGA supporters in here right now? Put a 1 in the chat if you support the president. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not. I'm trying to see how many Trump supporters we got in here. But y'all, please smack the thumbs up. Somebody said maggots are criminals. Okay, so we got, okay, so one is for Trump supporters, two is for non-supporters. I got people typing 3 up in here. I don't have a number 3. Okay, I'm just trying to see where the room is at. Let's keep going.
I'd love to do that. Oh, if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need, a certain number in the House. I think we'd get, I don't know, we have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in so much money. And here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe. And those countries are paying us $950 billion. And they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds.
We haven't
of
signed a single deal.
billions. We would
Adam
have to
said.
give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years.
Oh, what do y'all think? I ran across something this morning that they said Pete Hegseth said, and it was something about trans in the military. What they are no longer allowed, from my understanding. Did y'all see that today? And what do y'all think about that? Should trans be in the military? I'm trying to find it too, because it specifically said Pete Hegseth. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, let's keep going.
And I can't imagine it happening. On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever. But on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay.
You talked about controlling the sky. On Sunday, the satellite signal of Ursula von der Leyen's plane was led.
With Ursula? Well, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman. And so what are you asking me about her?
NATO is concerned about an attitude about this.
True, NATO is concerned about it. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Mr. President, reducing the tariffs on India from 50%.
What does that mean?
Are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India?
No, we get along with India very well, but India you have to understand, for many years, it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example. Harley Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley Davidson went to India and built a motorcycle plant.
So this is what it said that I've seen. It says, do you fully support Pete Hegseth eliminated transgenderism from our military? Do you support that? Yes or no? Do you fully support Pete Hegseth eliminating transgenderism from the military? And they also, on top of eliminating them, they also stop the surgeries and stuff like that. So what happens to the people that's in the middle of that? What happens? Because the families can't afford it.
And now they don't have to pay tariffs. Same thing as us. So
few can afford hospital bills and surgeries and all that stuff without insurance.
Doing is literally thousands of companies are coming into the U.S., car companies, AI, but, more traditionally car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. When you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Mr. President,
Go ahead,
in
please.
light of the Minnesota shooting last week, the Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats? And
So
violence?
religious liberty is so important. And we're talking about every religion now. And we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done. And we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
On Space Command, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. It will get somebody else.
Colorado.
I mean, the problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system. I have so many friends in Colorado. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple. It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission with him and Scoop Jackson and some people, highly regarded people. And they said the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason, the Democrats cheat. And they cheat like, they're not stupid. That's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good on management. They're no good at government, but they're great at cheating. And they stick together too. I give them credit for sticking together. Please.
Obviously, this is a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We've all can agree with that.
Big.
Is there any idea of the economic impact this has on the state and on that local area?
Katie, do you want to answer that?
Look, I mean,
Please go.
this is going to be tremendous. I mean, the state of Alabama, what we've seen through this process is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get in the way of what is best for the warfighter, what's best for national security. And the state of Alabama is about to show the country.
I just wanted to say shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all, please help me reach my goals. So we have a couple goals. One goal is that we get 500 thumbs up, and we got 431 people in here. And also another goal is that we reach 20,000, and we only like 300 away. So can y'all hit the subscribe button and the like button? Help me reach my goals today. I know y'all can do it. We can do it.
The best among us. So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous. There at Redstone Arsenal, we're proud to house everything from the FBI to headquarters there for material command to a number of things. We obviously have NASA with Marshall Space Flight Center. And so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs. With 3,000 spinoff. Look at this. This is teamwork right here.
Yes, teamwork makes the dream work. And to be exact, we are 300 away from hitting 20,000. And we have 328 people in here right now. So can y'all please subscribe to the channel and help me reach that goal? I know we can do it. Adam thinks for yourself. You're believing a load of nonsense. So y'all battling in the chat. I didn't hear about him doing anything. Wait a minute. Democrats, what men and girls in spaces? Okay, y'all keep typing it out, but I did want to know, what do y'all think? For the people that didn't answer yet, what are y'all thinking about transgenderism being taken out of the military? Seriously, because I mean, it was a problem with GAY before, and now they just flat out like none of that. And I'm just wondering how people are feeling about it, because I was feeling a way about it, you know, when they said that the parents don't even have any rights when it come down to this. And if their child decide that that's what they want to do, then that's what they do. That was with the last administration. And now we got them saying we ain't paying for no surgeries. We ain't paying for none of that stuff. So I don't know what y'all gonna do. And as a matter of fact, you can't even be in the military.
So we are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
And I've got a housing question, if you could, just for a second, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
please.
Owning a home and going about the American dream seems like it's out of touch for a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
Just recently, you pushed out a statement about addressing an emergency housing situation.
That's right. We're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just?
Well, we need a little help from the Fed. We have a man named Jerome Too Late Powell. You probably heard of him. He's too late, way too late. And the economy is so strong that it's pushing through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well that we're pushing through it. But it makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late. Very simple. He's too late. And probably political.
Thank you,
whatever. He
BFF.
wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting rates, right? Because he was hoping that, I guess, Biden would get in, or that Kamala would. He was a big Biden guy. Explain that one. And then he was a Kamala person, but he was hoping, I guess, she'd win. I guess. I don't know. It didn't work out too well. But yeah, we need a very serious cut. You know, I think that if you look back.
And I just want to thank the people that are subscribing. So I said we were at 19,700, and now we at 19,743. So thank you to the people that's hitting the subscribe button and helping us reach our goals. And also, if y'all could hit the thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate that. We talk about Trump over here and crime, and we definitely into it because we like to keep up with what's going on in the world. And if that's you, smack the thumbs up. And thank you for the 2 people that just hit that subscribe button. Thank y'all.
Many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly. The United States was, because without the United States,
shout out to the other person that just hit
everything in the
Shout
world
out
would
to
die.
y'all.
It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big, and I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did, but we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade. And numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by.
So the announcement was that they moved the Rocket Center to Huntsville, Alabama. Let's go to because I kind of forgot. They moved the hold on, that's what it's all about. Hold on, let me find it. And I'll give you an update.
A liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations asking to get help from the United States government when they've been doing this to us for.
So the announcement was that Trump announces the Space Command headquarters is moving from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama. That was the big announcement. Trump announces the Space Command headquarters moving from Colorado to Alabama. What do y'all think about that? So the Space Center is moving to Alabama. It says how many people are in the Space Command. What does the Space Command do? And we talked about that. Well, we'll read it. The United States Space Command is unified combatant command responsibilities for conducting military space operations to deter aggression, defend U.S. national interests, and defeat threats in the space. And then Pete Hegseth said, whoever dominates space they dominate in war and all of that. So it's a good position for people to be in. Slapping high tariff loses trade money, Justin said. Somebody said Trump, MAGA, Maha. So yeah, they was just talking about the Maha man, about the vaxes and stuff like that, but we ain't gonna get into all of that. And then also it says that it integrates joint forces from all services to provide space capabilities for the military operations, including the satellite communications. They control all that, the missiles, defense, intelligence, and position, navigation, and timing, GPS. Okay, and make America healthy. Democrats are even against that. Man, I felt the way about the force of
40 years.
anything.
That's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us, if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden era action that you're now reversing.
Before we get into Biden, thank you. We have 19,752. So, I mean, come on, y'all. Hit the subscribe button. Help us reach our goal. I definitely appreciate the ones that did hit the thumbs up. I mean, did subscribe, and also shout out to the ones hitting the thumbs up. But we started at 19,750. And we are at, 19,700. And now we're at 19,752. So if y'all could please keep subscribing to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. And also smack the thumbs up. But it has not moved yet. And we sitting here at 349 thumbs up. Somebody said all Democrats on those Diddy tapes. What about them Epstein files? You sub, KC, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Somebody said F MAGA caught. We was just talking about a caught right before I came on here. If y'all did not check that video out, please do. A whole caught leader that, man, he was gaining, forcing people to make his money. $50 million he made in 10 years, 9 to 10 years that they was investigating. And then, okay, let's get back to Trump. I'm going to go to some of the stuff that they were saying about where is he at. People literally thought that he was unalive. They were saying that he wasn't well. His ankles were swollen really bad. And they was talking a lot. So when they said that he was coming on today, somebody created that.
First thing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews, but I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something here, you know, for 150 years, they wanted a ballroom at the White House. We're doing something at the highest level using great architects and all. And, you know, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in DC. And DC is like a different place. And, you know, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today.
So I find it so very interesting that we have a 500 gold of the like button, but we ain't nowhere near it, but it's still a goal. Can y'all hit the like button, please? And I see that we have 169 votes. Can we get 169 thumbs up? So y'all said, yes, I hit the like at 67%. Please smack it again. I don't see it. And thank y'all to the ones subscribing. We are at 19,755. I appreciate that.
Feel like much safer. It's like a different place. Washington, D.C. is great. Now we're going to also beautify it. We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians in. We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. And we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, you know, a little area.
No insults, please.
New tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. You know, they've been up 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span. It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. It's going to be, you'll be proud of Washington again.
So we are almost at 100 new subscribers. If y'all could keep going, we are at 19,757. So we want to get 300 new subscribers. So can we get to 100 really quick?
Go ahead, please.
Sir, China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret that as a challenge to this? And are you
No.
concerned at all about those countries?
No.
Trying to be some sort of counterweight?
Not at all. China needs us, and I have a very good relationship with President Xi, as you know, but China needs us much more than we need them. No, I don't see that at all. No.
China said they don't need us.
And I had actually a very good meeting with President Putin a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes out of it. If it doesn't, we'll take a different stance.
The 21 March today in California ruled that your deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles was illegal. Do you have any response?
Well,
reaction to that?
it was a radical left judge, but very importantly,
I
what
can't
did
argue
you
with
not
you,
tell
Beth.
me in that
I don't know what all was
question or
going on.
statement that you made? Pretty much of a statement, I think.
Well, I was asking for your response.
No, you didn't say what the judge
But I'm
said.
gonna pause it on what
The
Beth
judge said,
just
but you
said.
can leave.
I'm gonna pause it on what Beth just said because I have heard that. I mean, I've heard it, I've seen it, I feel it. She said, believe me, sis, a lot of you don't know about Trump and what he is doing out of what he is doing out of America. He is the beginning of the end of us. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of MAGA people turn away. Not a lot, because they actually, let me not say that, because they said MAGA and Trump supporters is two different things. Okay. They are not the same. So I believe that Trump supporters, there are some Trump supporters that no longer support him. Do we have anybody in here that used to support Trump that don't anymore? Or, I mean, and or believe this? You know, do you believe this? Some people are saying that he just want to win a Nobel Peace Prize. He want to be one of the presidents. Now, what president did win one? Because he's all about breaking records and stuff. So he wants the Nobel Peace Prize. And people are saying that's what he's going after, and that's why he's moving at lightning speed and doing things that nobody has ever done, because he's breaking records. Do y'all believe that? I know I ask a lot of questions, but I'm just saying.
Leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be.
And shout out to the 19,760 subscribers. So we got 60 new subscribers. We only need 40 more to get to 100. Can y'all please subscribe to the channel?
Be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said, except the judge said that you could leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that was the speech for the day. That is the announcement. Go away, Slow Joe. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. The stinking FBI, CIA for years couldn't find one thing to jail him for. They said Trump belongs in prison. So the minute somebody say something nice, then somebody else say something. Trump is the last president of America. Dang, that just scared the crap out of me, man. Good Lord. I mean, this thing is still playing in my ear. Yeah, that's the scary part, though, saying stuff like that. Like, he's the last president of the world, and it's gonna be all kings after this. And nobody is going for that. And also, I mean, I don't know, it's a lot going on in Chicago. That was really what I was gonna be talking about today. And people are not feeling the military coming there. Even though the president is not standing down on nothing. Our Constitution guarantees that he will not be the last unless they dismantle it. Like, it seems like they're pushing everything. Things are happening. They're challenging the courts. I mean, most presidents just, they don't push. It's like, if the court say no, the judge or whatnot, and this administration is just like, no, the judge, nobody. Trump said nobody has more authority, more power than him. You know what I'm saying? Never trust another Democrat after the Biden mental cover-up. He's going to try to do what Bibi did. he's in his last term. People are saying that he's in his last days. Like they already had unalived the man. I mean, it was so much. And I don't even, let me see if I can find one of these videos. I hope BFF sent some because let me see. I was trying to share with y'all some of the things that people were saying about him. Oh, here's one that, let's see.
The attempt by the White House to show us signs of proof of life continue to backfire. At this point, they're going to show us photos of Donald Trump from the 1980s and say, see, everybody, here's the official photo from the White House of Donald Trump heading to play golf this morning. Or they're going to like show us photos of Bigfoot and say, you see him right there? There he is in the woods. He's perfectly fine. I mean, that's not too different from what we're seeing this morning.
Hold on, because I wasn't really trying to go to that. But people really was trying to figure out where is Trump, you know, and I think, hold on. Wait a minute. Wow, the video that was there is gone now. Okay, give me a minute, y'all. I'm trying to find out what is the update on Chicago and if they actually sent the troops out there or not. So let me pull this back. Wait, not that. Let me pull this back up. Nah, I don't want to play that though. We don't want to play that. Oh, let me see. Where are we at? We are at 19,763 subscribers. So thank you to the 63 people that subscribe to my channel. Sending Newsom those 2023 hats are classic. Yeah, I heard they've been going at it. Newsom, I heard that he did a video standing next to Trump like he was being vain, I guess. But let me go to something so I can find something else. I need to find, and I don't want to play that one. I don't want to play that. There's too much going on in that. So we gonna find something else. There's too much going on in all that. Let's do this. No, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to go backwards. But of course, nothing is working right, is it? Knock it off. Jeez. Hold on. We just gonna do this right quick.
You know, it's like years, many years, a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out and
His briefing by addressing the horrific shooting that took place yesterday at the Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where a deranged shooter opened fire during morning mass, killing an innocent 8-year-old and 10-year-old. 14 other children and 3 adults were also injured during this horrible tragedy. This was the first morning mass of the school year for these beautiful, innocent children, and this sacred religious service was desecrated by an evil monster. We are all eternally grateful to the heroic law enforcement officers and first responders whose courage and swift response aided all of those impacted by this horrible tragedy. As Director Kash Patel confirmed yesterday, the FBI is currently investigating this shooting as an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime targeting Catholics. President Trump signed a proclamation yesterday following his call with the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, acknowledging the victims and their families and directing flags to be flown at half-mast. President Trump and the First Lady encouraged the entire nation to join all of us in praying for the victims and their families as they face unimaginable grief and loss. The White House and the FBI will continue to provide further updates as they become available. I also have a quick scheduling announcement for you today. The president will travel to New York City on September 22nd to address the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, September 23rd. On another matter, as Americans make their Labor Day weekend travel plans, they will be able to enjoy 5-year low gas prices thanks to President Trump fully unleashing American energy dominance. President Trump ended Joe Biden's Green New Scam policies and is delivering on his promise to make America affordable again. These savings at the pump are giving everyday American families more room in their budgets at the end of each month, which is the exact opposite of what we saw under the previous administration. And as we commemorate Labor Day this year, we finally have a president who fights and delivers for the American worker every single day. President Trump believes that American workers are the heart and soul of our economy and our national identity, which is why he's championed an agenda that puts them first always. For decades, the hardworking men and women of our country who built the greatest nation in world history were sold out by selfish, greedy, short-sighted globalists who put our country on a path to economic and cultural ruin. They hollowed out our factories and towns and betrayed the American working class by shipping jobs overseas and importing millions of low-wage migrants to replace American workers. Under President Trump, this national disgrace is over. American workers are once again being put at the center of national trade policy, and the dignity of American labor is being defended.
Happy Labor Day to all the workers. So what I wanted to go to is what's going on in Chicago, because I mean, we talked about that the other day, and they definitely have like all kind of anti-Trump protests going on all over the world, really. But Chicago definitely got some protests and stuff going on. It says, oh, and they right in front of Trump. They right in front of Trump Plaza. Or Trump something. Hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Which side are you on? 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 So one thing I wanted to say, because I remember like when they first announced that the immigrants was coming, and they what they did in Chicago was infuriating to a lot of the residents, and they was reading the mayor his rights. The people in Chicago do not like the mayor, because that mayor put the immigration in front of everybody, and the neighborhoods that they came to, from my understanding, was Black communities. They had an old school that they had opened up and let them in. So it really was when Trump has said that it was Black people saying, please come here, Trump, and all that. I guess that's what he was talking about, because I heard a lady saying that, yeah, come here, we want you to come here, and they don't like the mayor at all. And so but everybody has different things that they are out on the street for or whatnot, and this is part of what they got going on right now, well, on Labor Day. Hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Which side are you on? 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 You're blocking the road, lady. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So that was from the AP. And then Trump.
A deadly Labor Day weekend in Chicago as President Trump.
Okay, so I just want to say this, because I don't know if this is the video that I was thinking of that I seen earlier, where they talking about a bunch of people got fired upon. Somebody just drove down the street and hit everybody in their lower extremities and kept going. You know, I have heard and so much that it's black SUVs that be speeding by in Chicago, firing on people, and they never catch who those people are, and they think that is law enforcement. So I'm just saying, like, anytime they don't catch a criminal, you gotta wonder why. And then I heard that they capitalize off of the violence in Detroit. I mean, in Chicago. Richard said, "Free Chicago." Johnny said, NYC, LA, Chicago, Baltimore are all Democrat-ran cities and high crime rate holes. Yeah, but they're saying that it's not really about that. They say, when have they ever cared about the crime rate and all that? It's more about voting and redirecting maps and confusing the votes and all of that. And the city said that the crime is down, they don't need it and all this. But we see that is all. I can't say that Chicago is one of the cities that they pay attention to. Chicago is one that they test everything on. If it goes down in Chicago and they get away with it, it is on. Okay. Chicago is a testing city. What goes down there, they'll try it, and then it'll expand to other cities. So clearly, JB Pritzer and Donald Trump don't like each other, is what it sounded like. They don't agree with each other.
Labor Day weekend in Chicago as President Trump continues to set his eye on the city, threatening to send in the National Guard as early as this week. At least 52 people have been shot in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. 7 of those victims died.
The violence included 3 mass shootings that happened at Haddon in California, in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood, and 2 in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood, 35th and State and 36th and Cottage Grove. ABC 7's Jasmine Miner talked to people in Bronzeville about concerns about 2 mass shootings happening within 48 hours.
Many here in Bronzeville describe the neighborhood as on the come up, and they say they're not going to let the violence stop the positive work they're doing. For one woman, that means keeping kids healthy, active, and on the field.
Come on. We're gonna push through because it disservices the kids.
Alexis Hawthorne, owner of the top-tier university football youth program, says even gun violence won't keep her from serving kids in need. Their practice comes just a few hours and down the road from a mass shooting early this morning. 5 people were shot near 36th and Cottage Grove near Ellis Park, including a 17-year-old who is in critical condition.
At the end of the day, to have one person that was critically injured and 4 folks in the hospital, whatever the situation was, it was senseless.
It is the second mass shooting in Bronzeville in the last 48 hours. The other happened on Saturday night near 35th and State, where 7 people were hurt during a drive-by.
See,
those like Alderman Pat Howell are taking action, telling ABC 7 in a statement, "I have long asked for additional police manpower to deal with large illegal gatherings and pop-up parties that routinely occur throughout the Bronzeville neighborhood." It follows Mayor Brandon Johnson signing an executive order this week to avoid the Trump administration from sending the National Guard into the streets of Chicago.
Us as people, we can come together and fix it out on our own. We don't need no one to come here and, wreck shack our community.
Others think the troops could help.
I got kids, and I want to see the community better. I run every day out here. I exercise out here. So for the street to be safer, I think it's really good.
But Hawthorne says her football program does just that. Teaching kids a healthier way to have fun.
We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that these kids have somewhere to come.
Alderman Lamont Robinson tells ABC 7 that Chicago police do have 1 person in custody from the shooting this morning.
Well, good. If they got one. And then, of course, Trump, let me see what he said.
Trump and a new promise to impose federal law enforcement to fight crime on the ground. He said, quote, "Chicago is the worst and most dangerous city in the world by far." He added, "I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again and soon." Now,
wait, hold on. Okay, so that is what he had to say about Chicago. He is yeah, let me see what y'all saying now. And let me see. Democrats call others Hitler or haters, but hate on Jewish people. Worse. Free Chicago. Richard said free Chicago. He's going to tell. People deserve safety. Democrats keep you poor and crime, so you need them. They control you then. Well, for me as a person that don't live in Chicago, I feel like the crime is high because I'm sitting here watching it on TV. But at the same time, I mean, it seems like Chicago, it seems like from me on the outside looking in that they really are on the map for crime. I mean, it happens in abundance. But is it really about that is the question, because according to JB Pritzer, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. And they actually said that he defunded the police and didn't help with the help that they actually wanted to help with, which was events, them having these type of events and different parties all over the city and stuff like that, gun control or something. But it wasn't, they don't want to take the authority away from the local police and have them directing traffic.
We should note that Chicago does not rank in the FBI's top 10 list of the most violent cities in the United States. And you will see Memphis.
So why are they there? Highest violent crime rates among major U.S. cities. I'm surprised they ain't the top. What? Memphis, man, that's Detroit is off the map. Like, people in Detroit they sitting back like, are they coming here? Are they coming here next? So if it's not even the top 10, what put him on his radar? It's a race thing. MAGA farmers are suffering the most. MAGA farmers, why? Because they don't have workers. The question then becomes, how much violence does it take for a person to step in? What number of triggers is too much? Like, if I say that I'm not going to Chicago, like, to me, it just too much happens. I mean, it's off the map to me. But is that the real reason? That's the thing. Of course, people are saying no, that's not what it's about. It's not about that. But let's go.
Nashville, Kansas City, those are all cities. Houston, in states with Republican governors, and the president not threatening to send in the National Guard to those cities. Now, having said Chicago's not in the top 10, it was a violent weekend there. At least 56 people shot, 7 people killed. Crazy. Chicago's violent crime rate, though, is dropping. So it is that complicated picture. Let's get right to CNN's Elena Treen at the White House for the latest on what the president's saying. Good morning, Elena.
Good morning, John. And look, I mean, it's clear, very clear from if you've been following what the president has been saying over the last week or so and what he's been posting.
We're only 29 away from getting 100 new subscribers, even though I want 300 new subscribers, because we're trying to get 20,000. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, can you do that, please? And thank you to the one person that did. So we're at 19,772. Thank y'all to the 72 people that subscribed since I've been live.
A couple posts this morning included, he is really fixated on Chicago right now. And what we did, what we're learning is, one, my colleagues and I broke the news last week that they are planning a major surge in federal law enforcement officials, specifically immigration related officials. That includes ICE and Customs and Border Patrol and other agencies to Chicago to deal with immigration. But all of that coming as the president continues to argue that he wants to try and do what he is doing here in Washington, D.C., in Chicago as well. Now, I do want to be clear in my conversations with White House officials. They've told me that the operation we're likely to see begin this week, we're told it's expected to begin on Friday, is really going to be immigration focused. That's about it. It is not about domestic crime like it is here in D.C. They still have to work out some of the details of that because, again,
Chicago
Shout
is
out
in a
to my
state
member in
of
the
Illinois.
building.
They have a governor, not really the case here in DC. And so there's some legal questions about what the president and this administration is actually able to do. But as part of this immigration,
Y'all, please smack the thumbs up on the politics channel. Shout out to everybody listening in, and thank y'all for the thumbs up. But please smack the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Shout out to everybody in the building. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it.
push, we're told it's similar to what we saw happen in LA earlier this year. We are also seeing National Guard troops kind of being put on standby and being prepared to be sent to Chicago to help with that. And so all of this coming as the president, and you said it, is posting again this morning saying essentially that Chicago is the worst and most dangerous city in the world, calling out the Illinois governor, J.B. Pritzer, specifically saying that he needs help badly. He just
Blended, type LLC to drop your link over there. You'll remember.
Doesn't know it yet. I mean, he is clearly escalating his rhetoric on Chicago and making very clear what he wants to do there, which is exactly what he's doing here in D.C. It's just a question or not of whether he can actually get to, send the type of
Thank you, Richard. I
federal law
appreciate
enforcement
it.
agents there that he has done in this city.
Based on
Richard
your reporting,
said he
we should
loved my
start to see
channel.
some of it by the end of the week. Elena Treen at the White House, thank you very much. Kate?
Joining us right now to talk about this is the Lieutenant Governor of Illinois, Juliana Stratton. She's also running for the U.S. Senate seat that Dick Durbin.
Now, I do like to hear from the people, the leaders, or, said leaders or wannabe leaders or whatever of Chicago to see what they're saying. And I do take it into consideration. And so let's listen to what she's talking about.
Will be vacating. It's Lieutenant Governor. Thank you so much for being here. I want to read, just because the president is speaking out about this on social media just this morning. Here's what he said to get you to respond. At least 54 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend. 8 people were killed. The last 2 weekends were similar. Chicago.
Oh, it don't work. Okay. Thank you, Blended. I see it's not working.
Is the worst and most dangerous city in the world by far, the president writes this morning. Pritzer needs help badly. He just doesn't know it yet. I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again and soon. But John did point out, so did Elena Treen, Chicago is not in the top 20 of cities when it comes to FBI crime stats on violent crime, and not in the top 10 when you talk about overall crime rates. So facts and data are critical. But if, Lieutenant Governor, the president is saying that this morning, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, first of all, let me just say that Donald Trump is not focused on public safety. Look, anytime that there's crime anywhere in our state or around the country, we want to continue to see progress being made, and we are making progress here in Illinois and in the city of Chicago. But this is not about public safety, and this is not about making our residents safer. What Donald Trump wants to happen is he wants to manufacture a crisis. He's going to, as we just talked about, there's going to be a surge of ICE enforcement efforts. He knows that people will see those efforts and then want to speak out. People, good, decent people, will be heartbroken to see their neighbors being snatched off the streets and stuffed into unmarked cars. He wants to inflame tensions, and he wants to make sure that that he can cause some sort of crisis that he can say that he's coming to the rescue. And what we know is that we are going to follow the law here in Illinois. We are going to do everything we can to protect.
So basically, she said he is gaslighting everybody and trying to make it seem like it's something that is not. Now, I done seen that happen on YouTube too. Like, people create issues and make it seem like it's something. But yeah, so that's what they saying. Like, he just want to create a chaos so he could be the savior. Like, that's okay. Let's keep going. What y'all think about what she just said?
Protect our residents, and we're not going to allow this president who wants to manufacture a crisis, who wants to, quite frankly, make the military presence on American soil something that people normalize. We are going to speak out. We are going to be prepared to do everything we can to protect the residents of our state.
The governor said Sunday that there had been no communication
no outreach whatsoever from the Trump administration to his. Are you aware that any communication has occurred between the administration and—
For the new subscribers, please make sure you're not taking it back away. So you double tap the screen to hit the thumbs up, or you can hit the 3 dots upper right. You can hit the thumbs up there. If you see the subscribe, if you don't see the subscribe button, that means that you're already subscribed. So if you're not, can you please hit that subscribe button and also the thumbs up? Thank you to the people that have.
leadership in Illinois since then?
Well, we do know that ICE has informed our Illinois State Police Department that they are going to begin operations sometime later this week. But I want to make sure that everyone understands that communication is not the same as coordination. So we got notice, but there's been no direct communication with the governor. There's been no coordination, not just with our administration, but with local law enforcement. And so if this really is about what do we need to do to promote public safety and create safer communities, why would there not be coordination with our administration? Why would we not work with local law enforcement that's already on the ground and has relationships with our communities across the state and across the city?
So that's a good question. Why not work with them? Or because they said that he didn't even reach out and ask or try to see what was going on. It's just like this is just what he doing. It kind of went around everybody. And wouldn't it be a better feeling if everybody could work together? Let me see what the mayor is saying right here.
City.
Let's see.
That we will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city.
So they saying he's allowing them to be trafficked in, stop the guns from coming in. That would be helpful. Let me see. What is the caption of this? Somebody said Brandon Johnson just blamed gun violence in Chicago on Trump and the red states. These guns come from red states. That is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not.
They are coming. We will never be able to end gun violence in Chicago as long as the president continues to allow tens of thousands of guns to be trafficked into our state and our city. The vast majority of guns do not come from Chicago. They are not made in Cook County. They are not bought in the state of Illinois. These guns come from red states. They are coming from Indiana. They are coming from Mississippi. They are coming from Louisiana. That is the harsh reality, whether Republicans like it or not. Occupying our city will do nothing to solve this problem.
Well, then that's what the mayor said. That is what the mayor said. Hold on, let's finish this.
So this is not about public safety. It's not about coordination. And I just want to say this, as somebody who has worked on these issues of building safer communities throughout my career, there's never been an expert that I've spoken with directly who has said what we need is the militarization of federal troops, or we need federal troops on the ground to be the goal of how we get to safer communities. What people are looking for, the exact things that Donald Trump is stripping away. We need access to education, but
So I do want to say though, I seen kind of what it looks like when they have the military there, and they have, everybody gonna be affected. If you out on the street, they got military barricades where you got to stop, and they searching people and arresting people, and your day ain't gonna go the way that you thought it was gonna go if they come to your city. And only thing I can say is I'm happy I ain't in Chicago, man, because a lot of people got arrested. A lot.
Dismantling the Department of Education. We need access to health care, and he's stripping away Medicaid. We need families to be able to put food on the table, and he's stripping away SNAP benefits and making the cost of groceries go up.
These are not the things that get to the root.
Oh, it was also a warning put on immigration with housing. They have been told to, evict every immigrant that's on Section 8 or whatever. They can't benefit off of it. And something about if you got somebody living with you that is an immigrant or something. It's just so much happening, I heard. But I did hear them say that they not giving them a notice. It's like you off of Section 8 period. They can't get the benefits, and if they don't, then the owners can lose their Section 8 period, So that I just heard that today, I think it was. Did y'all hear about that?
Causes of violence or crime. And we are going to stay focused on doing what works here in Illinois. It's been working, and we're going to continue making progress. We're not where we need to be, but we're headed that way.
The White House really slammed the governor and was critical of his.
Ain't no groceries down nowhere. I see BJM type that something about groceries way down. Heck nah. Go to Walmart. I'm talking, don't go to Walmart, but no, Walmart, they groceries is off the map. I mean, those prices, the tariff prices is definitely in Walmart. Groceries are high as hell. I've never seen it so high. And another thing that skyrocket is laundry detergent through the freaking roof. I was trying to, buy something cheap, and I found one for like $10 and got it home, and it was some freaking fabric softener. Yeah, this ain't no laundry detergent. Yeah.
Statement this weekend calling if National Guard moves in, calling it an invasion. He said it would be.
Beef is.
Do you think that goes too far in calling it an invasion? Are you playing into the White House's hands in using the language?
No, what we are doing is calling out what's happening, which is we are looking at the rise of authoritarianism right in the face. I mean, this is a president who is a weak man who wants to be the center of attention, and he wants to manufacture a crisis so that we can distract from his failures. And so this is an invasion. This is him sending a surge of ICE enforcement and also wanting to hopefully in his federalized National Guard so that people will feel that it's normal to see troops on the street, armed guards or tanks. This is not normal. And we cannot normalize it. And
let her finish.
So we're calling out what he is doing, because what he wants to do is he wants to see a crisis so that long-term people will say, oh, look, this is what we needed.
So he won a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what it is. According to what she said, he want to be able to be Captain Saver Chicago. Okay. He wants to be the one to drop the crime rate that nobody could do. He wants to be the one to make a change of something, while other things he's turning us away from. What do y'all think? Why not? Richard said, the crisis is already there and happening. Doing nothing would do nothing to solve your problem, because he is all over the Epstein files and guilty as hell, Jesse said. So get away from the Epstein file. Now that's funny, because that's my thumbnail has that on there. He's standing right in front of the Epstein files, directing them over here. Go over there, okay? We good over here. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it for subscribing. Chicago sure hasn't brought crime down. Help Black community or no community in Illinois area. All I know is the Black folks that I seen talking, they wanted to take Brandon, the mayor's head off, because he was standing 10 toes down and 20 when he bent them over for them immigrants and was like, screw y'all gonna deal with this. Yeah, and we gonna give them monthly checks, and I know y'all want the school open so y'all kids don't have to travel out of their neighborhood, putting them in more danger to go to a school over here. We ain't opening this school. We gonna make this building for the immigrants. They was mad as hell in Chicago, and they are not standing with their mayor. Not everybody. Mm-mm.
Not what we need. There's no emergency here in Illinois. We have not asked for this. He's not coordinating with us. And people of Illinois have made it clear this is not what we want. And we will not roll out the red carpet.
Children
and wanna be
unalived last
dictators.
night, nothing.
What remains
Mm.
a mystery this morning is what it looks like when he says, I am going to make Chicago streets safer beyond what you have laid out, which is immigration enforcement. So that remains a big question today. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for your time.
Well, one thing for sure, Chicago, they was standing 10 toes down for them immigrants, and I just feel like it's illegal, I guess. And I just feel like it must have been something big in it for them. And now they're saying, we don't need help. We good over here. Leave us alone. And me on the outside looking in, it does look like it's a lot going on in Chicago. That's where I started reporting at first. And it is no, the crime is off the map. But I do also believe that law enforcement is in on that crime. When they ain't catching those people and they storming away in them they speeding off in those black SUVs and nobody ever get found. Yeah, I think it's something to that too. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't want to go to Chicago. So if you ask me if Chicago needs a little help with the crime, I will say yeah. But the leaders are saying that it ain't nothing about that because he's not helping with stuff we ask help for, which is stuff that would help keep crime down. He didn't want to do that, but he want to come in here big where everybody can see it and say, look at what Trump did to Chicago. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think about it?
Join Sleuth Nation membership and become a sleuth for special members emojis, special badges by your name, and sneak peek videos.
And also why I got y'all here, I did a live stream before this. I've covered crime over here. So if you haven't tapped into my other content, please come into the channel and check me out. We talk about politics and crime. And I also have a channel that I just talk about politics, but also if you're a content creator or you need help with YouTube or you want to become one, you can join my membership. I talk about YouTube over there. I help people reach their goals, which is also I'm asking y'all to help me reach my goal. I have a goal of 20,000 subscribers that we want to reach. And also 500 thumbs up. I don't think we've reached either, but I do appreciate the people that did smack the thumbs up. And First Lady Michelle Obama, West Side. I miss President Obama. Why will the Democrats not try to squash crime? Man, it's a lot. Somebody said, Kevin said, I love Chicago. I live an hour away. It's a great city. Yeah, it's definitely a great city. Like when you don't live there, and like when I used to go every year for a hair show. And back in the day, that was our thing. And we would walk around Chicago and do our thing downtown Chicago. We didn't leave the area. But knowing what I know now, you can't pay me to do that. We had a family reunion in Chicago and they said it was at a park or something and I wasn't going to go, but I did end up going and we did have a good time and we all survived. But I'm just saying the guns are not coming from red states. They are bought in by cartels. Yeah, see? Who letting them over though? Who letting the cartels in here to bring them? That's what I want to hear from people that live there. Okay. Squash crime. Will remove illegals who count towards their House representatives seat. Oh man, I heard that some of the Democrat seats were closed, and that's something with the redirecting of the maps. I don't know if that's what you were speaking on. Democrats open the borders, and Trump had mentioned the wall, but that didn't happen. Oh, and I put this up here because I did a live stream on this earlier. If y'all didn't check that out, please do. And also, that was just funny as hell when I seen them talking about this is him about to be saying his speech or whatever. They done unalived the man. and it looked like he was all right. What do y'all think was going on? See, he can't not show himself no more because he's always on the mic. He's always on social media. If you don't see him, you hear him. He posting something or saying something. But anyway, y'all, let me see where we are with the votes and also with the thumbs up, if I still got that up. I'm curious to know how many people did actually subscribe, and let me close out this poll. So that's crazy, y'all. We had a goal of 500 likes. Of course, we ain't get there yet, okay? But that's our goal. We want at least 500 likes. And but we appreciate everybody that did hit the like button. And also shout out to the 19,780 people, and 80 people subscribed to the channel. We wanted to get 300 because we trying to get to 20,000. So if you're on the replay or if you hear now and you didn't subscribe, please do. And also thank you for the people who hit the thumbs up. The goal, 500 likes. Yes, I hit the like button at 66%. Y'all lying. Doing it now at 34%. And we got 236 votes. And we do not have 236 thumbs up. But we're going to keep striving because that is the goal. And, you know, it's important, y'all. So please do that. And Jesse said, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Or over 70% of the population wouldn't have protested. There's a lot of people out there. They ain't happy. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for all that tuned in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Again, thank you to the ones that subscribe. We are closing at 19,780. So that is 80 thumbs up. I mean, 80 people that subscribe from when I started asking. And we also have like over 600 new subscribers in the past 28 days. So thank y'all to all my new subscribers. And we out of here, y'all. Peace and love.